And welcome back, folks. I'm Pete Allman. Today we're going to talk about three important things, and that is your health, what you eat, and what you train in the martial arts business. A gentleman, the former UFC champion, is certainly a true champion. He's going to be fighting very soon here on December the 27th, and I'm with Mr. Frank Mir and his trainer, Mr. Ken Hahn. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Nice to be here again.
I think the first thing, when we think about martial arts, and of course, we talked earlier about training and about what to drink and what's not good, and of course you take Bionic Tonic because it tastes good to you, but also we were talking about what you drink, what you eat, how you train. How does Bionic help you in the training session?
Well, obviously, it doesn't take a genius to know what's good for you and bad for you. We all know that a lot of the sugar-laden drinks out there are bad for you. And at the same time, because of our training regimen, there's times where I get out of bed and I'm tired, I'm fatigued, I'm unmotivated at the moment, I have to get myself going. So it's nice to have an energy drink or some type of stimulant that'll get you going that doesn't have all the side effects. I mean, we all know you can drink a bunch of coffee, but then there's side effects, high blood pressure. You know what I mean? It's not good for your heart. All that caffeine. At the same time, you have different energy pills and stuff out there, and I'm just not a big believer in a lot of those things because I see people that take them and for an hour or two you're good, they're jittery, and they crash. The one thing I like about the Bionic Tonic is it's all B vitamins and whatnot inside the soda, and so that way I've drank it, and I read the label and stuff, and it makes sense to me, but at the same time I go off of what I feel. I know I could drink a Bionic Tonic, and within about 15 minutes, I have a nice steady energy increase. I feel a little bit better, I'm hopping around, I'm making a few more jokes, I have a better output, but at the same time, at the end of the workout, I'm not crashing. I don't have that that rebound effect you get from a lot of other stimulants. And I don't have a hard time going to sleep at night. I'm notorious for staying up late, so I can't have a stimulant that is going to keep my heart rate pounding where I'm in bed trying to rest, because then it's counterproductive. Here you had a stimulant that got you going, but now you're not getting the proper sleep at night. A lot of everything we do in martial arts, everything from the styles that we fight to the amount of training, like one of the key principles in life is about balance. That's what I think this drink really does for us. It's a balance. It's a good energy increase, but not excessive. I mean, there's drinks out there that'll get you jacked up a lot higher. I've seen them, at the gym, they sell them, only drink half, and I'm sitting there and I drank a quarter of them and thought I had to call the ambulance and have a heart attack. This is a nice increase. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's just the right amount to keep you motivated and going.
Is that Bionic Tonic over there?
Yeah, actually. This is what I started out my morning with, I come in here, I already have my breakfast and stuff, and I do my stretches, and when I start my morning workout, I start having a couple drinks of the Bionic Tonic, and obviously it helps incredibly that I like the way it tastes. It kind of curbs that craving I've always had to have soda, I mean, obviously we all know regular soda is bad for you, so I've always drank diet soda, and the more research I've done on that, it could be just as bad for you in different ways. You don't have the insulin spike because of all the sugar, but some of the chemicals in there can be very detrimental to your health. They're saying, it causes cancer in rats, and who knows, I don't want to badmouth, but we've heard, it does different things to your nervous system, whereas this drink is almost all natural ingredients. So at the same time, like I can drink a soda now, I have a carbonated drink, which is very, curbs that craving that I drink. I drink about 4 or 5 liters of water a day, so it's nice to have a little bit of a soda alternative without all the drawbacks.
Before we talk about the training and so forth, let's go over here to the owner of Striking Unlimited, the bare knuckle champion, Mr. Ken Hahn. And Ken, in what we were talking about regarding the drink, is that something that you would approve of in the sense of everything that Frank was talking about?
I think so. It's a good point that it has to taste good and it has to affect you in a positive way. I think we've tasted a lot of different drinks out there, and this is by far the best tasting. You can actually finish the whole can without, having that medicine aftertaste. It's sugar-free. I drink one with Frank right before I work out, and we do it 2 times a day, no crashes. And, if I don't drink one, I don't feel like I have to have one. And that's another thing that, with most drinks, if you don't have one, then the next day you're freaking out and you feel like you need to get another one. With this one, it's just your body doesn't have that addictive feeling.
Let's talk about the training session. I talked to you the other day about, there are so many different martial arts, but you said to me, Frank Mir is a true martial artist, mixed martial artist. Explain what you do in preparing him for the term that you mentioned.
Well, for mixed martial arts, there's just so many styles that you can combine. And in the UFC platform, the best makeup is some form of striking and some form of grappling. And when Frank came to me, he was already a very skilled grappler. We just needed to modify his striking, and we've picked various styles that worked in different situations. So we use a little bit of boxing techniques, a lot of the footwork and the evasive maneuvers of boxing. We use a lot of the shielding and driving in on an opponent using Muay Thai concepts and kicks from Taekwondo to karate to anything you can dream of. And I think that's the secret, is not just saying, okay, I'm going to do boxing with jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai with wrestling. You know, you have to take whatever your fighter can adapt and use, put it all together, and in essence, that's mixed martial arts. You're mixing different arts, putting it into one system that effectively works in the platform that you're working on.
Well, Frank, and of course we're at Striking Unlimited, and we're now going to talk about the upcoming UFC fight. And for those of you that may not know what UFC stands for, it's very simple. The Ultimate Fighting Challenge, where all sorts of martial arts are used in this particular fight scheme. And instead of going 12 rounds or 10 rounds, we're talking about 3 or 5 rounds. And talking about that, Frank, let's talk about your upcoming fight. A gentleman he's pretty tough.
Yeah, Nogueira, his nickname is Minotauro, is an extraordinarily tough guy. He's in over 30 fights. He's only had about 3 losses, and 3 or 4, I'm trying to remember. Josh Burnett, Fedor, he's never been knocked out or submitted. That says a lot, The gloves that we wear are actually easier to get knocked out than even in a regular street fight because we tape our hands. So it actually makes it to where when we throw a blow, it's more devastating, because we have more support. And so, and to make that statement, you've never been knocked out or submitted in that many fights against the high-level competition, says it's a statement to his toughness. The only thing, the advantage that I think I have over him is that I've kept that mentality that I'm never a master in anything. And I think sometimes he is, at the top of his game. He's considered one of the best fighters in the world. He sticks to several things. You can see he's still kind of the same fighter. He's very proficient at boxing. He's gone to Cuba, but he doesn't try to acquire any other type of striking techniques. It's work for him, and I understand that principle. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But usually, by the time it's broke, you could have used foresight to constantly improve and be innovative. Dinosaurs didn't improve, and they're not around anymore. That's kind of the concept I always tell people. His jiu-jitsu is extraordinarily good, very proficient at that. He submits a lot of guys. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but his wrestling and his judo, isn't up to par. And I guess maybe growing up in America, I had the advantage of, and I don't know if he did or did not. Bruce Lee was kind of a forerunner to mixed martial arts. This guy back in the 1960s and 70s is writing about how martial arts is to be well-rounded. You have to understand every range. And that was the first thing that really impressed me when I came into Ken Han's training, and why I delved so head deep into it was because he had the same mentality. It's like, look, when you're in this position, you have to use whatever techniques are available to you. When you're in this position, use whatever techniques are available to you. Some fighters only have a limited use of techniques, and their whole game plan is to get you into their strong points, where I think it's a huge advantage to be able to fight in any situation. And that way, when you get into your strong points, you do well. But if someone, has a good game plan and is throwing you off, you have plan B, plan C, plan D. So in our fight, really, it's going to be me trying to utilize a broader range of techniques than he has. He's very good hands, but I think that that kicking is one of his weak points on our feet. He's not the strongest wrestler on the ground as jiu-jitsu. He's more Brazilian style jiu-jitsu, where I've kind of acquired more of an American style, where we go for a lot of foot locks and neck cranks and different variation of moves. It kind of comes from the influence that we have from catch wrestling and stuff here in the States.